I first crossed paths with Allison during our last year of college. It was one of those crisp October afternoons where the air smells like fallen leaves, and I'd signed up to help out at a campus fundraiser. She was there too, working on the event logistics, all focused and in her element. At one point, she accidentally spilled a cup of hot cider all over my hoodie. She was absolutely horrified, kept apologizing, and even insisted on replacing it. I chuckled it off, didn't make a big deal out of it, but she wouldn't let it go. Funny enough, that hoodie, stained and all, is still tucked away in a box somewhere. I guess you could say that's when our story really began, even if we didn't know it yet. There was just something about her, something warm, like sunlight on your face after a cold day. She had this effortless confidence that drew people in, a laugh that turned heads, and a way of speaking that made you feel like you were the only one in the room. We hit it off right away. What started as study sessions turned into those long, late-night talks where time just disappears. Before long, those talks blurred into mornings where neither of us wanted to get out of bed, let alone be apart. Our first kiss happened just outside the campus library, right under this old lamppost that flickered like it was straight out of a romance movie. It felt magical. Once we graduated, we decided to take the plunge and move in together. I landed a job doing IT support at a medium-sized firm while she started her career in marketing. Our apartment wasn't anything fancy, a tiny place with clashing furniture, posters taped to the walls, and our shared traditions like pizza on Fridays and binge-watching Marvel movies. It was simple, but it felt like home. The first couple of years? Honestly, they were great. She always pushed me to aim higher, encouraged me to go after a better job, and I helped her put together a portfolio that eventually earned her a big promotion. We hosted dinners for friends, took spontaneous weekend getaways, and celebrated every little milestone. Folks around us used to say we were the kind of couple others looked up to, relationship goals, they'd call us. Then came the moment I thought would change everything, the day she told me she was pregnant. It was a Sunday morning, soft sunlight spilling through our crooked blinds, the air thick with the smell of coffee and pancakes. She sat across from me, quiet, her hands wrapped around her mug. Then, out of nowhere, she said, "I'm late. Took a test yesterday. It was positive." Time slowed. I stared at her, searching her face for a hint of a smile, something that said this was good news. But her expression was unreadable. Still, my heart was already racing in the best way. Something inside me cracked open. I saw it not in a dreamy way, but something real, something alive. A child. A chance to build something bigger than ourselves. A family. I imagined myself holding a baby for the first time, imagined the way she'd look with a little one in her arms. I smiled and said, "Okay. Wow. That's a lot. But I'm with you. We'll figure it out." She didn't smile back. "I already made an appointment," she said quietly. "For Tuesday." It hit me like a punch to the chest. "What do you mean?" I asked, stunned. "You already decided?" "I'm not ready," she said. "We're not ready. I can't throw my life off track for something I didn't plan. And you shouldn't have to either." I tried to breathe through the disbelief. I told her we didn't have to figure it all out today, that we could talk, think, just slow down. But she was already far away from me in her mind. "I need to do this," she said, her voice flat. "It's not up for discussion." She didn't want me to come with her. Said it would make things harder. So I stayed home that day. Sat on our bed for hours, staring at the wall, holding the tiny onesie I'd impulsively bought on my lunch break after she told me. Stupid, I know. I'd hidden it in the back of the closet. She came back that evening like nothing had happened. We ordered Thai food. Watched a show. She laughed at some scene and I just sat there, numb. We never spoke about it again. But I mourned. Quietly. I'd lost a future I had just started to believe in. A version of myself I was beginning to love, someone who could be a father. I found myself noticing strollers more. Listening to the way toddlers babbled in cafes. Wondering if it would have been a boy or girl. And every time I caught myself smiling at the thought. I hated that I still loved her. Because she didn't let me in. She didn't let me grieve. She made a decision for both of us and carried on like it never happened. And maybe, just maybe, that was the first time she truly left me, long before I ever found out about Jay. But things started to feel different about half a year ago. Allison began staying late at work more and more. At first, I chalked it up to new clients and her drive to succeed. I didn't question it, she was always ambitious. But then came the little things. A new perfume that I didn't recognize. Stylish clothes that had never been in her closet before. Her phone, which she used to leave lying around without a second thought, was suddenly always in her hand or flipped face down. And it wasn't just that. The way she touched me changed too, or really stopped changing. She became distant. Hugs felt forced, almost mechanical. Our conversations grew shorter, and the sound of her laugh, that laugh I loved, started showing up less and less. I finally worked up the nerve to ask if something was bothering her, and every time, she'd just flash a tired smile and say, "I'm fine. Just exhausted, that's all." I was in the middle of folding laundry, just doing my usual Sunday routine, when her phone lit up on the coffee table. I wasn't snooping, it just happened to catch my eye. The preview popped up clear as day. "Miss you already. Last night the message was from someone named Jay." My stomach dropped. Right then, everything I'd been trying to ignore, all the little red flags I'd explained away, came crashing down on me like a ton of bricks. Deep down, I think I already knew. I just hadn't wanted to face it. That evening, I couldn't keep quiet. I walked into the kitchen where she was casually blending a smoothie like nothing was wrong. I asked her straight up, "Who's Jay?" She froze for a second. Her shoulders tensed. Then she turned to me with the smirk, cold and sharp, and said, "Was wondering how long it'd take you to figure it out, Michael. Jay's my boss. We've been seeing each other for a couple of months now." No apology. No explanation. Just flat-out honesty delivered like it was no big deal. "I needed a real man," she added, not even blinking. "Someone with ambition. Not some guy who spends his weekends gaming with Jacob and watching dumb movies." I couldn't even speak at first. I just stood there stunned. 3 years of building a life together, and suddenly I was just a joke to her? So I asked her, "Does Chloe know?" Chloe was the friend who introduced us, the one who always said we were perfect for each other. "All of them know," she said with a laugh, like it was the funniest thing in the world. "Chloe, Jacob, everyone. They get it. Jay's going somewhere. You're not." And just like that, it felt like the walls caved in. These were our people, friends we'd spent holidays with, traveled with, laughed with. Turns out they'd all been in on it. Not one of them had said a damn thing. I pulled out my phone and sent a message to the group chat. Just 6 words, "Did you all know about this?" Jacob replied within seconds, "Bro, you're great, but Allison deserves someone more established. Don't take it personal." Then Chloe chimed in. "We didn't want to hurt you," she wrote. "Maybe this is what you need to finally grow up." That was the moment something inside me shifted. And for the first time in what felt like forever, I actually smiled. Not because I was happy, far from it, but because things were suddenly brutally clear. I didn't raise my voice. Didn't beg her to stay or ask her to explain herself. I just calmly grabbed my backpack, my laptop, and my keys. As I walked past her still standing in the kitchen, she asked without even turning around, "Where are you going?" "Out," I said. "You can have the place. I'm sure Jay won't mind helping with the rent." And that was it. I walked out the door and didn't bother to look back. My phone started buzzing not long after, but I didn't care. I powered it down and shoved it deep in my bag. That night, I checked into a cheap little motel on the outskirts of town. It was the kind of place with flickering lights and peeling wallpaper, but the guy at the front desk, his name was Pete, had a good heart. After hearing a bit of what I'd been through, he knocked $20 off the weekly rate and handed me a bottle of water, said it was on the house. That tiny gesture meant more than I expected. 2 days later, I finally turned my phone back on. 32 missed calls. Dozens of unread messages. Most were from Allison. A bunch came from Jacob and Chloe. A few were from numbers I didn't recognize. But what really caught me off guard was what I saw on social media. Allison had rewritten the whole story. Suddenly, I was the villain. In her version, I'd been some possessive, jealous guy who tried to cut her off from her friends, emotionally manipulated her, and blew up when she stood her ground. Her posts were full of dramatic quotes and teary-eyed selfies, and people were eating it up, offering sympathy, support, and validation. There were even people we both knew chiming in, commenting things like, "You're so strong and proud of you for leaving." She didn't stop there. She uploaded a whole video. Tears streaming, voice trembling. Accusing me of financial abuse. All because we had split the bills evenly, something she had suggested from the very beginning. And then came the message that really threw me. It was from Gemma, a coworker from my office. She just said, "Hey, you might want to check your email. Something's going around." I did. And sure enough, there was a company-wide memo about maintaining a respectful and safe workplace culture. No one was named, but come on, the timing made it obvious who they were talking about. I thought I'd be livid. Thought I'd want to scream. But weirdly enough, I wasn't angry. I was curious. I wanted to see just how far she was willing to take it. Turns out, she was willing to go pretty damn far. I was at the storage unit grabbing a few things when I unexpectedly ran into Juliana, Allison's so-called best friend. She looked around like she didn't want to be seen and then leaned in close, her voice just above a whisper. "You need to watch your back," she said. Jay's wife. She's got connections. And Allison's been feeding her lies, saying you're dangerous. Thing is, you're not the first guy she's done this to. There was someone before you. Same setup, same ending. That night, I couldn't shake it, so I started digging around. And sure enough, there was another guy. His name was Mark. He went completely off the grid, deleted his accounts, disappeared from social media, the exact same month Allison got hired at her new job. The very next morning, my phone rang. It was our landlord. He told me Allison had tried to have me taken off the lease, claimed I just walked out and left everything behind. When that didn't stick, she switched tactics, told him I'd been harassing her. But things were starting to shift. Later that day, I got a message in my Instagram DMs from a woman I didn't recognize. Her profile picture showed a sharp, elegant woman probably in her 40s. The message was simple and direct. We need to talk about my husband and your girlfriend. It was signed Mrs. J. We met up the next day at a quiet little cafe. She wasn't there to throw accusations or trade sob stories. She came with receipts. For years, she'd been gathering proof. Not just about Allison and Jay, but about a long-standing pattern of manipulation and abuse within the company. Allison wasn't Jay's first affair, and Jay wasn't Allison's first target. And that led to the company party. It was all orchestrated by Mrs. J. She timed it perfectly, coordinated everything, even arranged for a malfunction with the projector. Right in the middle of Jay's speech, a slideshow popped up, full of screenshots, messages, photos, all of it. Incriminating stuff. No one could deny it. Chloe, tipsy and flustered, tried to jump in and defend Allison. Gemma wasn't having it. She laid out the facts. Juliana came clean in front of everyone. Jacob? He recorded the whole thing. Allison completely lost it. I mean, full-on meltdown in front of the whole room. Mrs. J didn't miss a beat. She handed Jay his divorce papers right then and there. The company board launched a formal investigation. Not long after, both Jay and Allison were forced to step down. Then came the lawsuits. More people came forward. More stories came out. And just when I thought it was over, last week, Allison showed up at my motel. She was holding this manila envelope like it was her last lifeline. Her eyes were wild. "I've got dirt on everyone," she said. "If you don't help me, I'll release it." I didn't flinch. I calmly flipped through the pages, took photos of everything, then handed it all right back to her. "Burn every bridge you've got," I told her. "Let's see where that gets you." She stood there for a second, breathing heavy. Then she stormed into the parking lot, ripped the envelope to shreds like some kind of performance. Someone filmed it. It went viral. Yesterday, I signed the lease on a brand new apartment. Got a promotion at work. And yeah, I've started seeing someone new. We're taking it slow. Real slow. And I'm okay with that. It's funny, really, how peace shows up once the storm's done wrecking everything. So yeah, this is the last update. Sometimes the best revenge isn't shouting or fighting or trying to get even. It's watching the truth come out all on its own while you move forward, wiser, stronger, and finally free.